Hey guys, what's up? It's Moses here at the Driver Success channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So today I just want to answer a question from Nick Yaman. I don't know, Nick, if I'm pronouncing your name right, but I really like it when I get you guys to ask me questions, because I don't know what you want to know. I don't know what is important and the things that you want to know. So when I get questions from you, it gives me an opportunity to know what to talk about. So I appreciate you, Nick, for taking the time to ask the question in the comment below. And Nick's question is really something that I promised I would make a video, because I think other people will want to know, will want to also hear it, and probably they have the same question. So generally what Nick is asking is, he has a young family and he wants to get into trucking, but he's wondering, should he get into trucking or should he just give up on getting into trucking? Now, when I started out in trucking in 2006, I was lucky because I was single. I didn't have to worry about my wife or the children. I just decided I wanted to try out trucking. I didn't consult with anyone. I just got into trucking. Now that I'm in trucking, now that I have a family, I've been doing this for some time. The question then is, knowing what I know right now, would I get into trucking since I have a young family? And to me, the answer is, it depends. It really depends on your circumstances and the situation you are in right now. So the most important question that I would ask myself is, why do I want to get into trucking? And how is trucking going to change the quality of life for my family? And I think that's the question you want to ask, because I don't know what your situation is, but if I was in a situation where maybe I was earning like $20,000 a year, right? And I had an opportunity to get into trucking and earn or double the amount that I'm currently earning, which is, I'm just giving this as an example. If right now I'm earning $20,000 a year with the job I'm doing, and I go into trucking and I'm going to double that and earn $40,000 a year, that means I'm going to increase the quality of life for my family. So in that case, I would want to go and pursue trucking. Based on the videos that I made about why you should consider trucking as a career, and also the disadvantages of being in the trucking industry or in the trucking career, you can be able to weigh what your situation is. So for me, I would want to know how it's going to improve my quality of life for myself and for my family. If it is something that I'm gonna get into to increase the quality of life for my family, then I would do it. I would do it because first and foremost, as I mentioned in the advantages of the trucking career video, the investment to get into, both in terms of money and time, is very minimal. So it is something that someone can get into without spending a lot of money, even without spending money out of their pocket, and also something that really takes a short amount of time to get into. So based on that, if I realize that the investment I'm going to put in terms of money and in terms of time to give me the return of the income that I want is something that makes sense to me, I would go ahead and go into the career. But having said that, we have to look at the bottom line. Regardless of which career you pursue, regardless of whether you'll be home every day or you are away from home for a number of weeks or days, the bottom line is always going to come back to how is your relationship right now with your wife and with your children. Because there are people that are home every day. There are people that maybe work just 40 hours a week. They see their children every day. They see their spouses every day. But they are still failing in their marriage. They are still failing in their parenting skills and building the relationships with the people that matter to them and building that family. So at the end of the day, the first thing you really want to look at is your relationship with your wife, your relationship with your children, because that's the basic or the foundation on which you are able to consider all other options you have. So if your foundation, your relationship with your wife and your children is strong enough, then I would encourage you to look into the career. But I want you to know that it's going to take a lot of commitment from all of you, from your wife, and from the children, because the first months when you are going through training, those are the hardest months. Because I want you to remember, you will be away from your family for extended periods of time. Some of these companies that have training programs, they want you to go away for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even more, like maybe 6 weeks without going back home. Unless you're lucky enough to find a trainer who has like a dedicated route, whereby maybe they swing by the house and you live in the same area and you can be home every weekend. Most of the time during training, with these training programs, you are going to be away from the family for weeks at a time. So it's going to be hard on you, because you are learning a new skill. You are in this small room with a stranger. You don't see your wife, you don't see your children. You are not earning enough money, because during training you are going to be making very little money, almost just money for you to eat on the road. So which means that even before you go for training, you want to make sure that your family is covered financially. How are they going to be able to survive during that time when you are in training? You must make sure that you save money and that your family has something to live off of, because you won't be making enough money during training. So you want to talk with your wife, you want to talk with your children, even if they are young children, like maybe 3 years old. As an example, with our eldest daughter, she's 3 years old. But if it's something that is going to affect her, we still talk to her about it. Even though she may not understand, we try to talk to her about stuff, so that it's part of building the relationship. So you are going to have to sacrifice if you want to do this. If it's something that is going to make your quality of life better, then you can do it, but I want you to know that it's going to take sacrifice from all of you, especially the first about 6 months. Actually, I would prefer you look at it that the first year of your driving career. Now, things are getting better and better in the sense that you will be able to get some experience, maybe like 3 months, 6 months experience, depending on the area you live in. You should be able to get a local job, or at least to start with something that will let you be home every weekend. Things are getting better. It's not like before, where it's like most of the work was over the road, and for you to get local work you had to have like 2 years experience. Now with 3 months experience, you can be able to get into a local position. But you're going to have to work hard on your skills, because when it comes to local work, there are some challenges involved, especially with maneuvering in tight spaces. But when it comes to experience nowadays, even with 3 months, 6 months experience, you can be able to get into a local position, again depending on the area that you live. But you should only go into trucking if you have a strong relationship with your family. You can talk over it and know that you are just doing it for a time period. It's going to be hard, but the rewards are going to be good. If you think that your relationship with your wife and your child are not that strong, my advice would be look for another career that can pay you well but allow you to be home, because it is easier working on your relationships when you can see your wife, when you can see your children. I think they're done unloading me. Hold on.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so they are done unloading me. I'm gonna head up back to get my paperwork. But anyway, I just wanted you to know that if your relationship is not strong, my advice would be stay home, get another career, something that will let you be home so that you can work on your relationship, because your children will need to see you, your wife will need to see you. You need the touch, you need the one-on-one interaction, which you won't get in trucking. The only time for you to go into trucking is if you know you are strong enough for the entire family to go through the first challenging period. If you think you can go through that, and trucking is going to help improve the quality of your family, then go for it. I encourage you to go for it. So I hope that gives you an idea and helps you out. The most important thing is communicating with your wife and your children and making sure that you are all on the same page. Again, make sure that before you leave for training, if you choose to do this, that your family has enough money to last them through at least 6 months, because when you're in training you don't really make enough money. So hopefully that helps you. If there are other things you want me to clarify on, shoot me an email, moses@driversuccess.com, and I'll do my best. So until next time, stay safe and stay blessed. Bye bye.